Today, we're going to look at where the pros are warding so you can copy them and get 13k MMR. If you saw someone ward here, you might assume it was a misclick, but think again. A few teams have been liking this ward in the middle of these stairs to the entrance of Dyer's triangle. Placing it here allows the ward to give much more vision of the high ground across the river, almost guaranteeing that you'll see enemies rotating through this path. Compare this to a more standard ward that might be at the top of the stairs, and you can see the difference in vision is huge. This ward is not likely to see enemies passing by. Also, this ward on the stairs is out of range of a sentry ward that might be placed on the cliff above, making it even better and safer to place. It sees the bottom power rune and gives good vision of the river to the left and to the right. I'm liking this one a lot, and I expect more teams will start using it. A lane ward in these areas is not rare, which is why we often see a sentry ward placed somewhere around here to find them. But teams like Falcons and Blacklist are liking a much deeper lane ward. This makes it much less likely to get dewarded and gives great vision of the lane to see incoming threats. If placed in the right spot, it can even give some vision of the river to the left. This ward is obviously not very flashy or creative, but I needed to add it in here because I'm seeing it so often in the early stages, even at the very start of pro games. And I'm usually seeing it placed by the Radiant team, so its use is very defensive. This ward is great for scouting rotations in the river that might be coming from mid and helps to protect any stacks you might have in the Radiant triangle. It can also help to scout enemies moving in to steal your Wisdom rune. Sometimes the most basic of wards is all you need. This ward by Game and Gladiators is great if the enemy has a gem and you need to place some defensive sneaky wards. It's able to see anyone farming this camp and anyone moving through this part of the Radiant jungle. There are a lot of good ward spots in this part of the map, but one I noticed from Falcons is here. This ward gives vision of the river, all three of these stairs, and even a bit of vision at the top of each of them. It also just isn't as common as far as I've seen, so people might not think to place their sentries somewhere that covers this spot, making it a very high value ward. Another spot in this area is here. This is similar to this spot which we've covered in another warding video, but this new one allows you to see people moving around this large camp or maybe even around the small camp. It also gives some more vision of these stairs to the left and the lane. Be careful with this spot though. If there were any dewarding battles going on around this large camp, as there often are in the early game, a sentry ward around here will surely catch this ward. This next ward is really creative. I can't believe more teams aren't using it. If you ward here, it gives great vision of the subscribe button, which if you read the patch notes, you know subscribing guarantees you'll win your next 5 ranked games. Quick, go try it out before it's patched out. This ward is great to see rotations around the Dire jungle entrance. It's not too crazy of a ward, but one that I feel like I don't see very often for how good it is. It also won't be in range of a sentry on this cliff above, which is always a plus. If we move slightly to the right, we can see teams like Heroic opting for a ward here. I've actually been seeing a lot of teams place an early ward in this area. It's great for scouting Dire's mid laners, stacking and clearing this large camp, so you can be sure you're ready to contest it. If you want to see enemies moving around Dire's top jungle, you might place a ward here. Or maybe you've seen our other warding video and you know about this spot. But have you considered going even deeper and warding here? Falcons like this ward, and it's great for situations where you're ahead and you want to scout any Dire heroes trying to find some safe farm. Keep restricting their map and punish them if they come out of their base to farm here. A similar type of ward that Game and Gladiators likes, but this time on the Radiant side, is here, at the top of these stairs just below the Radiant bottom tier 2. This ward scouts anyone grabbing this safe farm and a bit of the surrounding area. We sometimes see wards to the left in this area which gives similar vision, but those spots are a bit more common and predictable nowadays. If you want vision in this area, try this spot out. Also, having a ward just outside of the tower vision range can be pretty sneaky and unpredictable. This is another spot I'm seeing a lot from pros like Blacklist International. It's pretty simple, but gives nice vision of anyone moving through the jungle here, and some vision of the bottom lane. People don't usually deward this spot. They'll either check to the left around this cliff or above around the bounty rune, making this spot pretty good, especially in the early stages of the game. Everyone knows this spot, I'm sure, but again, this is one I'm seeing a lot from pro teams right now like Heroic and LGD, and I'm not seeing it get dewarded very often at all. It gives great vision of the river to scout rotations and can also see the top power rune. If you're not using this ward, give it a shot. It's great at pretty much any stage of the game. If you're looking to get some vision of the bottom power rune, consider this spot that Aurora likes. It sees a lot of the river around the power rune and even a slight bit to the right. And a little tip, if you're able to break this tree just below, then place your ward around where the tree was, it'll give great vision of the path below as well, and the tree won't grow back until the ward dies. A ward mid here is pretty common. It's great for giving vision of the Radiant's high ground, the bottom power rune, and seeing any rotations in this general area. But have you ever considered moving the ward slightly to the left? Well, Team Spirit has. This offers all of the same perks as the previous spot, but this is also able to scout rotations on these stairs. Now, although this additional vision is great, there is a downside to this ward. If you have a sentry in this area, you can spot this ward by standing at the top of these stairs. The original ward placement we saw doesn't get scouted unless the enemy has vision of that spot, like cutting the tree to find it. It's a cool ward, but keep this in mind. Before you go, thanks for watching and supporting. I still get so excited about how many of you watch and enjoy these videos. I feel so lucky to be able to share things about my favorite game like this and have people interested in learning. If you want more warding videos, let me know. It's one of my favorite topics in Dota. If you have any ideas for other videos, let me know that as well. If you want to watch me live and ask me any questions about my games, come check out my Twitch. Join our community Discord to find people to play with and see when I go live. A special shout out to Yuri, Mark, Aaron, Daniel, Ole, Jay, and the Titan Forge for supporting me on Patreon. If you want to support me further or work with me to improve your gameplay and hit that MMR goal you're shooting for, go check out my Patreon. There's also some content there for anyone who joins for free, so even if you don't want to pay anything, still go check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something new with me.